That's how I used to smile in my school pictures. So today we're gonna talk about, somebody sent me a text, what'd they say? Oh, that's what's up. Today we're gonna talk about some body type myths and what did I say it was? Oh, unwritten rules, myths and unwritten rules. So we're gonna start off with endo in this video. Then I'm gonna do a blend video, just put all the blends together. Then we're gonna do meso and then ecto, extreme skinny. So today we're gonna start off with extreme big, naturally big. We're gonna go through 3 myths. We're gonna go through the truth behind those myths and then some tips for people battling with those myths or the truth behind those myths, all right? So first one, endomorph, just so we all know, these videos are not backed up by any scholarly sources or Wikipedia or Google, none of that shit. So if you are a nerd, that is beautiful. If you like super credible sources that you can go and fucking track and, you know, find somewhere documented, that is wonderful. You're in the wrong place. So these are all things based on my experience, what I've seen in the field, what I've dealt with, what I've seen other people deal with, what I've put together through awareness and experience. Okay, that's all I got. So, endomorph. First myth, they fat people that just eat all the damn time and they're greedy. That is not true. That is not true at all. So, endomorphs have a genetic disposition that keeps a lot of water weight and additional fat on them, all right? So we know that in the textbook. Now, the truth and reality of the matter is that because this body type is typically not naturally involved with high intensity sports or activities due to their build and size and lifestyle, their metabolism is not going to naturally be fast. So unlike your smaller people, your mesomorphs, ectomorphs who are running cross country or playing basketball and football naturally because that's how they're built, their metabolism is going to be faster, all right? So if your endomorphs are not doing those things, their metabolism is not going to be faster. So what that means is that when you see an endomorph and they sit down and they pigging out, truth of the matter is that's probably only the first or second time that they ate that day. But because they don't eat a lot, they eat to get full. They don't eat to fuel their body. So every time that they eat a huge portion or moderate portion even, but it sticks to them and it stays there because they're not doing the types of things that help them burn off excess fat and maintain and keep or elevate their metabolism at all. All right, so that's the reality behind the situation. So what endomorphs can do, if you are an endomorph suffering from this, try to regulate your meals by keeping a schedule, choosing healthier options, all of that cliche shit. But also get involved with a routine workout plan so that your metabolism can start to rise for you and work with you so that you're naturally a little bit more hungrier so you can start to eat for fuel and not to feel full all the time, because you go all day and you starve yourself and then you sit down and you throw down and you're full and stuffed, but you're not necessarily doing a whole lot to burn that extra off on top of your genetics that, you know, gear you towards holding on to a little bit extra more than necessary or more than at least you want to, all right? So another myth number 2 is that endotypes hate working out and that they lazy. Let me tell y'all something. I done seen some endomorphs in Zumba class getting it in, you know, group exercise, getting it in with they trainer, getting it in. But you gotta remember, they big, man. So that shit hurt. The truth of the matter is that when you big and when you try to move around and shit, that shit don't feel good, especially not starting off. And to a point that I made in the first myth, if due to how they are or who they are, if they're not naturally doing high intensity shit, that's not a part of their fundamentals or a part of their base. And even if you do have an endomorph who is on the football team or the basketball team, or, you know, they playing softball or volleyball or something like that, you got to think about, and this is just the truth of the matter, this is me objectively speaking, all right, with love. What positions do they play? You know what I'm saying? Big boy ain't running out and catching no passes. He on the goddamn line. He's standing up and he doing this shit, you know, for maybe a couple seconds. He's not really putting out a whole bunch of energy. He's not really recruiting that much muscle fiber. So when they get to a point where they want to lose weight or they want to do something significant when it comes to exercise and their health and things like that and conditioning, that shit hurt. They big, that shit hurt. They not lazy. They actually are probably the most motivated type in the fitness world, in the gym, because they got a lot to do. They got a lot to lose. They got a lot to prove. They got a lot to get off. They got a lot of work to do. So they usually hit the ground running with a full head of steam. But when you are that size, all right, when you are naturally of that stature, you know, some things you can't do. A lot of shit hurt. A lot of shit you're not used to doing. So that goes for anybody. You know, you don't have to be small, or you can be small or whatever, regular size, whatever. When some shit is new, that shit is uncomfortable. All right. So it's going to take them a little bit longer with a little bit more effort to really get to where you don't look at them and you see somebody that's kind of lazy or they're somehow not consistent or some shit like that. So what endomorphs need to do, just like with every type, is they have to fall in love with the journey. So if you're an endomorph and you hitting the gym and you hitting that shit hard and you've been working out for 2 weeks and you ain't seeing shit happen, just stay with it, man. Because you got to remember, you're not going to get to where you want to go not doing shit. So worst case scenario, you're healthier. Worst case scenario, you're moving in the right direction, all right? So you can get to your best case scenario, which is losing weight and looking good and shredding fat and getting the water off you and getting better clothes and feeling good about what you see when you look in the mirror, which you should already feel good about what you see when you look in the mirror from a self-esteem standpoint, all right? So that brings me to my third myth, is that endomorphs have low self-esteem. Now, I blame a lot of media for this shit just because we see all the ads about obesity and, you know, we make this type to be just this super sad, depressed, you know, person walking around who feeling sorry for themselves and all that type of shit. Man, I done met some of the most charismatic endomorphs, big motherfuckers I've probably ever met. And a lot of them are entertainers and famous people and celebrities and all that kind of shit. Like, they ain't got fucking low self-esteem. That shit is stupid. And I don't even know why they say that shit. A lot of people that we consider attractive and beautiful and fine and bad and shit, they tend to actually suffer with more self-esteem issues or image issues than the bigger people do. All right, and you can go look that up in a fucking scholarly article or some shit like that. But what's typically happening is that they're just impatient and competitive. Just like the extreme ectomorph type is impatient and competitive with themselves and wanting to obtain a result, because those two fall into the extreme body type category, you know, the extreme big and the extreme skinny. So you got the extreme endomorph big person who is trying to do a whole lot really quick, and you know, they got the sauna suit on and they busting their ass and they ain't goddamn Zumba and they ain't Group X and they got, you know, 5 different trainers at 6 different gyms, and it's like, fuck, I ain't losing no weight, shit. And then you got skinny ass Ecto over here who's walking around stuffing his face with some shit he done seen in the goddamn magazine, and he's still not putting on no muscle. And they both may be doing the right things, but since they are so extreme, they're going to have to be a little bit more patient. They're not going to start to see those kind of bait-like or immediate gratification style results the way some of the meso and meso blend types tend to see, which is not fair, but like I said, just bringing the truth out. So if you are an endomorph, remember these things. If you are somebody who's dealing with an endomorph in any capacity, remember these things so you judge them on the right scale, so you can see the world through their lens, kind of feel what they feel, put yourself in their shoes, all of that shit. All right. We'll be back with the blend video, probably, not gonna lie to y'all, a few days. I'll see y'all later. Peace.